Ready to manifest the money, business, and life of your dreams? Do you wish you had more ease and flow in your business, your finances, your relationships, and everything else? There's a way to manifest simply, easily, and effectively without exhaustion, and I'm here to show you how. Hey there, I'm Elise McDowell, money mindset mentor and seven-figure CEO. And in this podcast, I will teach you how to reshape your money mindset, manifest consistent money, increase your business sales, transform your self-concept, and create the life of your dreams through the power of your mind. I'm here to help you go all in on you so you can go big in everything you're here to do. Let's get into the show. Hello, gorgeous people. Welcome back to another episode of Girls That Manifest. Today, we're talking about how to ignore the 3D, aka how to reject your circumstances and manifest it all anyway. So the thing about the 3D is that we get caught up in it. We get so caught up in it. We experience things that we don't want to be experiencing. Then we make them mean a lot of negative things about us and what we get to have or what we don't get to have. And then we determine that that's the truth. And then we believe it. It's kind of silly the way that we do this, but we do it every single time, like clockwork. And the thing is, the 3D is always going to be, I guess you could say, an obstacle in our paths. But it's how we determine what it means for us and how we look at it that actually decides whether it's going to be an issue or not. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this episode. We're going to be talking about how to hold your frequency, stay loyal to the vision, and manifest what you desire even when the 3D says there's no fucking way this is happening, girl. You are delulu, okay? Because even if your bank account is saying you've only got $43 and you've been imagining you've got $100,000 in there, or your launch for your new digital product is not going so well and there's crickets and no one's listening, but you still hold the faith that people are signing up, or even if your reality feels like nothing like what you've been envisioning for such a long time, I can tell you right now that it can change, right? You do not have to take what is currently happening before your eyes, what's unfolding in front of you, and determine that's all you get to have. We always have all the power, okay? So let's get into it. Now, the thing you have to understand about the 3D is that it is a lagging mirror. It is not reality. It's a mirror. It's a reflection of who you're being, right? It's only showing you results of who you have been, whether it was an hour ago, yesterday, last week, last month, last year. It's just showing you who you have been, right? Your current physical reality is not the present moment. It's a reflection of who you used to be. So you have to think about it like the delay that comes with manifestation. Even if you're manifesting instantly, there's still like a split second where it has to register and then unfold in the reality. But when we say there's a delay, this is what we mean. It's old energy that you have been operating in. It's expired beliefs that you've been using that you projected out into the reality that's reflecting back to you. It's the former frequencies that your nervous system and subconscious were living in. But it could be showing up now, even though you've been really good and really like clean with your thinking and clean with your self-concept work, but it could be still showing you the perceived negative experiences that you didn't want to be having. But if you learn to understand it's just a delay, it's just delayed things showing up and not making it mean anything, deciding that it doesn't matter. It's like, okay, this will pass. It's just old feedback. You can continue on your journey of keeping on your thoughts, being the new person, the new version of you, instead of letting that derail you, right? So if you're doing the inner work, like you're shifting your beliefs, raising your standards, affirming new truths, and you're not seeing immediate external changes, that doesn't mean it's not working. It means that the universe, God, I am, is reorganizing. The delay is actually divine. I always use this like kind of morbid example of like delayed manifestation because I think it's such a perfect example of like perfect timing, right? Say you want to have a baby, right? And say you get pregnant. Wonderful. How long does it take for that baby to arrive? Usually 9 months, right? If you were to decide, no, I want it right now and decided to induce yourself at 2 months, yeah, you're not having a baby. That thing isn't even half baked yet, okay? So this is what I mean when the delay is divine. There is a perfect time for you to receive what you want, even though in your mind you have it now, and even though the 3D is showing you evidence that it's not working yet, you have to stay on it because it will push through into your reality. But you have to understand that there is some, I guess, gunk, some residue that will show up as the old reflection that you were projecting out into the reality, right? But like I said, you don't have to make it mean anything. Reacting to the 3D is essentially like screaming at the mirror because you don't like the reflection. But nothing shifts until you do. So why most people get stuck here, and we all do, okay? I don't want you to think you're the only person in the world who's gotten stuck, really like lost in the 3D. I have been there many times. I was there last week. I was very much stressing about something that I could not figure out on my own. And it wasn't until I truly let it go that it started to unfold in the most perfect and divine way that I didn't have to figure out at all. So why people get stuck here, and most people make this mistake, is that they believe their current circumstances are proof of what is real, proof of what is only possible for them, instead of evidence of what's being cleared, right? I'm going to say that again. People believe their current circumstances are proof of what's not possible for them instead of evidence of what's being cleared, right? So they look at their bank account. They look at their very silent inbox. They look at the lack of progress. They look at the debt. They look at the guy who's not texting them back, or the girl who doesn't want anything to do with them. They look at the client that ghosted them. And instead of doubling down on their own energy, on who they're being, on going inward and determining what they get to have, how they get to experience any moment, they spiral into, this isn't working. I'm doing it wrong. I'm not meant to have it. Nothing ever works out for me. Woe is me. Feel sorry for me. Pity me. And we've all been here, okay? You're not the only one. I've been in plenty of victimhood. But let me ask you something. Would you dig up a seed just because it hasn't sprouted yet? Like if you went and planted a bunch of plants, or seeds I should say, and then tomorrow, after you planted them, you're like, where the hell are they? Why haven't they sprouted yet? I'm going to dig them back up. It's very much like my little baby analogy. You wouldn't. You're not going to dig it up because you trust that it's growing, even when you can't see it, right? You know it's going to grow, or you expect, you hope that it will. But there is a knowing and an expectation that it's going to grow. You just put it in the ground, you water it, maybe you feed it a little bit. It's going to grow. It's going to turn into that healthy, vibrant plant or tree or whatever it is you're growing. You know it's growing. Well, manifestation is the exact same thing. You know it's growing. You know it's happening. You've decided. You've planted the seed. And now all you have to do is water that seed. You don't have to dig it back up and examine it and then like talk to it and be like, are you coming? Are you gonna blossom? Are you gonna grow? No. You just keep watering it with your affirmations, with your scripting, with your visualization, with who you want to be, right? If we get down to like the essence of it, with who you are being, that's how you water it. You are showing up as the version of you, as the person that has what they want. You're watering it with that self-concept, right? The 3D is just one form of feedback, but it's not the final word. You are the final word. You get the final say. And too many people default into disempowerment when it looks like they're not getting what they want. But I want you to think about many times throughout your life where it really didn't look like it was going to happen, and it happened anyway. And you were fully in like doubt and worry and concern. But there was something in you that knew it would, even though you couldn't figure it out, even though it looked impossible. There was something in you that determined it was going to. Somehow, some way, it was going to. Well, this is the same thing. So, if you know it's going to happen, you've decided that it's going to happen, you know you're the God of your reality, what do we do next? You got to detach from the 3D without spiritual bypassing, right? So, ignoring the 3D doesn't mean you're pretending everything is fine when it's not, okay? That's not it. We don't want to bypass actually what's happening, right? It's not about gaslighting yourself into fake positivity. Hell no. It's about choosing devotion over reaction. You can feel your feelings without feeding the fear, right? You can allow yourself the time and the space to be completely human and not take it on and make it mean disempowering, disabling things about you. So what that can look like is you name what's happening. For example, I feel anxious because my launch isn't going how I expected, or I'm feeling sad because my bank account is looking rather low, or I'm feeling heartbroken because this person doesn't want to see me today, right? You're going to name what's happening. And then I always recommend validating the emotion. Like you're talking to yourself, almost like a parent, right? You're validating the emotion. That makes sense. This feels important to me. I understand why I would feel like this. I'm going to allow myself to feel this way for, I don't know, the next hour or the next day, the next 24 hours. And then I'm going to move on and then shift the story. Shift it into, but I also know that my results are catching up to my energy. I know that the 3D is not reflecting back to me my immediate thoughts and feelings and self-concept. It's showing me the past thoughts and feelings. And I know that it doesn't actually mean this is all I get. I decide what I get, and I'm going to choose the energy that I want to be in. I'm going to shift into knowing that it's already underway, even though I'm feeling this way, even though it looks like this. I'm going to shift, right? Because you're allowed to have the moment of feeling bad. You're allowed to have it. We're not about stuffing anything down. Come on, we're too old for that. We're allowed to have the moments where we just want to spiral, want to feel bad, but we just don't unpack and live there, right? You allow yourself, you give yourself the space to feel what you want to feel and feel how you feel. And then you remind yourself, this is temporary. This is a passing thought. This is a passing moment. It's old energy playing out. I'm no longer available for this pattern. And I trust that it's already shifting, even though I can't see it yet. One of my favorite affirmations is, somehow, some way, this is all working out. Somehow, some way, this is perfect. Somehow, some way, this is unfolding better than I could have ever imagined. That's one of my favorite ones. When I'm like, I don't know how to figure this out and I don't have the capacity to do it. I just say, somehow, some way, this has all worked out perfectly for me. And then I want you to think about devotion over delusion, right? I mentioned that before. There's a huge difference between it, right? Delusion is like bypassing the truth. It's repeating affirmations while panicking underneath. It's kind of pretending everything's perfect when you're actually in chaos. A lot of people use robotic affirmations for this, and I understand why it can help because it's kind of has a calming effect. But if you do it so much that you're using it to distract yourself, then you're not truly in the creator mode. You're in the bypassing mode, and we don't want to be in that, right? Devotion is deeper. It is a commitment to your vision that holds, even when reality isn't reflecting it yet, right? It's about being the person who says, I choose to believe anyway. Somehow, some way, this is already done. It's already worked out. I know that I act as if it's already done. It's done. And I trust the unseen more than the seen. And that's one thing I've always liked, is that the unseen, the field, the 5D, the 5D, the spiritual realm is a place where everything is available and everything is possible. And your imagination is the access to that, right? So when we go into imagination and we determine what we want to see, what we want to feel, what we want to experience, who we want to be, and we immerse ourselves in that experience and decide that that's the truth, that's who we are, then the devotion is easy. It's easy. It feels like you've come home, right? Delusion feels like you're holding on to the edge of a cliff, trying so hard not to fall down. So I want you to think of devotion like almost like energetic leadership over your life. You're not exactly waiting for proof. You're the proof, right? And you're the proof based on who you're being and your devotion to that, right? You are always going first, and then it's your reality that follows. So when you look at the 3D and you're like, it's not working, I need to change this, I need to do this, and you're reacting to the 3D, you're reacting to the mirror. You're reacting to the reality that's following you. So you're just kind of like in a wild goose chase with the mirror, with the reflection of just reacting to it, right? But it's you. Once you stop and you come back and you turn inward to you, that's when you have all the power. That's when you've regained all of that power again. So what do you do when the 3D is really loud? Because sometimes the 3D isn't just annoying, isn't just inconvenient, it's overpowering. It's so ridiculous, and you're like, what the fuck? What is happening? I don't understand. Everything was great, and then suddenly I lost a client. Suddenly a massive unexpected bill has come in. Suddenly this person doesn't want to see me anymore. Suddenly you start to question everything. But you have to understand that it's just an opportunity to choose. It's just an opportunity to decide again. It's never the end. Just because you lose a client doesn't mean you won't get more. It doesn't mean that that client won't come back. It just means this is a moment. And you are determining what it means. So in those moments, it's best to determine that it means something great. That it means that something fantastic is about to happen. It means that no matter what, you have the last say. You get to decide what happens from now on. And this is the moment where most people turn into go to disempowerment, right? Woe is me. Everything's against me. The whole world's against me. I knew it didn't work. How foolish am I to have believed in this? But it's bullshit, right? You're always creating, even when you're disempowered. So, like I said, you have to choose. You have to decide, who are you? Who are you going to be? What do you want? And is this it? If not, it's time to persist and continue to persist in who it is you want to be, what you want to have, how you want to speak, how you want to think, and what you do. And a great way of doing this, if you love doing techniques, if they help you get into that state or that self-concept, can be like scripting. You can write from the end of like, I'm so proud of how I've held my power when nothing seemed to be working, but oh my God, it is now working. Things are unfolding. I didn't have to lift a finger. It's all worked out for me. Or you could affirm it in the present tense of like, I always bounce back. Money flows to me. I'm supported in ways seen and unseen. I never have to worry about a thing. I'm so supported. I'm so taken care of. The universe has got my back. Life has got me. Love has got me. Money has got me. I never have to worry because I'm always taken care of. Or you could do something like a journal prompt. Do love a journal prompt, you know. You could ask something like, what would my future self do right now? So if you're feeling like you're really stuck in the old self concept of disempowerment, I don't want to be here, my life sucks, nothing's working. That's when you want to ask, what would my future self do right now? Or what would the version of me who is wealthy, wildly in love, super successful, who like literally is just living the life of her dreams, what would she do right now? What would she think right now? How would she feel right now? Would she spiral? Or would she go for a walk and reset her energy and trust the flow? What would she do? And that's one way you can like find your way back into who you actually want to be, right? Because you always get to choose. You're the last say, the final say. You're the operant power. So this is how you collapse timelines, even when it feels uncomfortable, inconvenient, even the 3D sucks so much. That's when you can still collapse timelines because you're choosing. You're not letting it overrule you. You're basically taking the power back. You're overriding the 3D, right? You're overriding that mirror and you're realizing and remembering you're the power. You're the operant power. You get to decide how it all works. You choose the state and then the universe, God, I am, matches it. So once you have come back to that, right? You've come back to your power, remembering who you are and that you choose, you decide every single moment whether you've got what you want or you're not getting what you want. Then you want to just go to what we all do to manifest, which is living in the end. and ultimately leading with certainty. Because living in the end means you act as if it's already yours. You behave as if it's already yours. You live in that relaxed, knowing, free, peaceful, non-grippy place of knowing this is already done. Why do you even need to think about it? It's done. You don't hope and you don't wait for the 3D to give you permission. You decide, embody, and then become that version of you who's already there. Right? This is ultimately about being so grounded in that identity, really building out that identity. And the only way to do that is to go inward and not outward to the 3D. But building that identity as the woman who has it. Everything that you want. And being so grounded in it that nothing can shake you. Even shitty little 3D circumstances. Right? You shift from, when is it happening? Is it even happening? To, of course it's happening. I'm just aligning with it, or I'm already aligned with it. Movement is always happening. It's already done. You stop letting fear run the show. And stop checking the scoreboard. And you start creating from the inside out. That is ultimately how you manifest in any circumstance. That is how you deal with the 3D. That's how you ignore the 3D. It's not that you completely deny its existence. It's that you take the meaning that you make of it off the 3D and you turn inward into yourself and you decide who you are being. You decide who you are. You decide what you get to have. You decide how your life works by turning inward, not getting lost in the 3D. Okay? All right, beautiful people. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you haven't yet, make sure you head to my free Abundance Vault with over 20 plus money mindset and manifestation resources I've created just for you. The link to that is in the show notes below. If you love this episode, make sure you leave a review. And if you're not following me yet, make sure you subscribe. And I will see you in the next episode.